But I'll be honest, I haven't seen Shin in a couple of months, at least in StarCraft Evolution. Maybe I say a couple of months, maybe like a month, maybe a little bit more than that. Shin, he has not been the most active player in the StarCraft Evolution League, so I'm happy to see him here and now. We'll see how he compares. And as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the Brood War Terran, for Team Starcom. It is BratOK. There you go. Why was the duck mad when he got his soup? They forgot his quackers. No. No. Pull first. Pull first opener here at Shin. But yes, Irradiate does end. It just lasts a long time. As do a lot of spells, a lot of the Brood War spells. Like, they last so long, which does make them more powerful, in a sense. Whether it's Storm, whether it's Irradiate, what else am I thinking of? The Slow? Ensnare, that's it, Ensnare. Plague. Darksworn. Duration is quite long compared to anything SC2 related. So now we are going to be moving out. BratOK does scout bottom right. I should also emphasize, welcome one all to Vermeer. This is a 4-player spawn map. We have bottom left, top left, 4-player spawn map. So BratOK checks bottom right. He will find Shin nowhere to be found. Shin moves his first overlord towards top right as well, also finding an empty location. And Shin moves his second overlord towards the bottom left. He will eventually find BratOK. He will find him. Meanwhile, with the early spawning pool, early roaches. Okay, so it's going to be a roach rush here from Shin. Remember, Shin, he did open pool first. Before hatchery, before gases, it was a pool first build, so hyper aggression here by Shin. And by the time the roach horn is done, he will find out where his opponent has spawned in. And we can see BratOK, he scouts bottom right first, then he scouts top right, and he does not find Shin. Very unlucky here. This means that the scout of the tech, the scout of the all-in, or the scout of the rush, is late for BratOK. So this is where RNG comes into play, where BratOK, he just gambled, he rolled the dice, and unfortunately, it is a gamble, and didn't roll well.
Add-on complete.
Oh, the nostalgia from that sound, that was beautiful. SCV does get in, SCV confirms, now he knows. Now he's aware here of the roaches. Back it up, we need bunkers. We need bunkers here, most likely on the high ground. Setting up in the low ground, this is going to be a tough hold here, especially because this is a late reaction and a late scout. So roaches are already moving in, and will this bunker even finish? Oh boy. As BratOK will try to make a stand on the low ground instead. The reason why I would say a high ground defense is because you can just lift the CC. You don't have to defend this location, you just lift the CC and pull off a defense on the high ground instead, with that chance to miss working against Shin. So you can have that high ground advantage. Bunker does finish up, and we'll see if BratOK can hold. If he can, I'll be very impressed. Be very impressed here. It's only one Ravager. True. Oh, Vulture goes down. Vulture does fall. Bile on the bunker. Does focus down 2 Marines. Nice target firing here. Does get the Ravager. BratOK, he's holding on. Roaches, they rush. They just rush past. they just move on past. They bust into the main. Oh, they kite back. SCV is going to be going down. And how many SCV kills? Getting up to 4, 5, getting up to 6 SCV kills. Ay. It's going to be 6 SCVs and I believe 2 Vultures. Oh. So it's going to be 2 Vultures, 7 SCVs. Every Marine goes down, and more boys are being pulled, more SCVs falling. And this will be cleaned up, but it's been worth it. It's more than worth it here for Shin. Remember, behind the Shin has been droning. Like Shin, this is not an all-in, this is a rush. A bit of a difference here. There was a roach rush into droning, into saturation, now he's taking his gases. Shin does have a massive economic lead. The damage was worth it. And now the pressure is on BratOK. Now he's going to be embracing mech, as to be expected. BratOK, he's a bit of a mech boy. He's going into Mass Vulture, and he needs to get some counter damage. He needs to get into a mineral line or bait the roaches into spider mines. He needs to do something here with these vultures. These vultures, they do push. Roaches in position. I'm loving the whole position micro there for the roaches. Oh my god. As the spider mines, they do zone the army back, just waiting for detection. There it is, Overseer has arrived, and the spider mines will be cleaned up. So nice cleanup. Spider-Man's dealt with. Back at home, we have 2 more factories on the way, going into mech, going into siege. That's going to siege mode, into tank production. And so far, SHIN, he's looking solid here. Now getting his 3rd base, building up his roaches, his hatchery here just for larva, just for the time being. Yes, vultures, they do get into the main. Getting a drone. Getting 1 drone so far. Nothing major. At least they get a scout. And what's important here, no drones. 2 base all in. SHIN, he's going for a 2 base all in. This base is just for larva. Just for larva here. Massing out more roaches. Sending everything across the map. And one way or another, the game is about to end. And because of the economic damage done early on, SHIN is in a better position. He's just had a better economy here. So now this all in is just fueled even greater, even stronger. And BratOK, he's still struggling. Does have a couple of tanks. He's got 3 tanks sieged up. Bunker on the low ground. The first tank is going to be wild. Second tank as well. Yeah, there's almost nothing left here. The wilds, they connect. They shut down the final tank. And with that, there's only a handful of Marines, a handful of SCVs. SHIN, he has broken through. He has broken the back of BratOK. Oh, contamination! Contamination into the main. GG gets called, and SHIN will take game number 1. GG. Just a very strong start from SHIN. As a reminder, BratOK, it was a late scout of the Roach Rush. He did not realize what was going on, and SHIN was able to get across the map and wreak havoc. He got 7 SCV kills, he got vultures, he got marines, and as he was wreaking havoc, denying mining time and killing SCVs, he was just droning. He was just droning up back at home. He droned up to 2 base saturation into a 2 base all in. 2 base all in, and unfortunately BratOK, he was still trying to stabilize. He was still recovering from the damage done in the early game. It was just too much damage. It took him too long to recover. GG. GG. With that, we're now jumping into game number 2. We'll see if BratOK can fight back and bring us to the ace match. So we're getting into Amygdala. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we do have our Brood War Zerg player, our South Korean Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the SC2 Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is BratOK. Let's go. Let us go. As we do load into one of the larger maps in the map pool, larger map, more macro oriented, more prone to longer and later games. But where are we headed? Now we see. Now we know we have 1 SCV across the map. This is a peculiar build. I'm curious. Now, in this kind of setup, from the side of BratOK, what could we see from this point? I would assume proxy 2 racks, maybe proxy 3 racks, but it's only 1. It's only 1 racks. Now into double gas. Are we planning to go into a proxy 1-1-1, like racks into factory, into starport? Is that the plan here? Otherwise, there's no room for an add-on, like, so it's not going to be proxy marauder. He can go marine into the main based on the rally, that's what I'm assuming. But are we going to go into everything else proxied as well? That's what I'm curious by. I'm waiting to see where's the factory going to be thrown down. Because a singular proxy racks is crazy. Okay. We do have the rally, Reaper's moving in, and we'll see what BratOK can achieve. Now, this dynamic is going to be an interesting one just because, as you know, SHIN has no queens. Queens are a very different unit here in Brood War, so Reaper defense in the early game can be more difficult to deal with. We can see BratOK, he does throw down his factory back at home, but we'll see if this is worth it. I'm not too familiar with this dynamic, but we'll see how many drones he can kill, if any. It's going to be up to SHIN to minimize losses. Bunkers thrown down in the mineral line, interesting. Boys are being pulled, Reaper's on the way. Handling production has begun for SHIN. Again, he went for a standard opener, hatch gas pull into a third. The SCVs are targeted, the bunker will not finish, and without the bunker, I feel like this is already, this already lost kind of a lot of its teeth. One drone gets picked up. Just one drone so far, and yeah, just one worker. Not quite worth it here for BratOK. He's going to be zoned away, and SHIN holds. SHIN does hold on. Now, you can argue that some economic damage was dealt. Denied mining time. True, mining time was denied, but I'm just a little bit concerned here for BratOK. I mean, he's going to play mech anyway, I suppose, so I guess it's okay. It's such a late natural, though. Again, racks into factory, into starport, into a very late CC. Like, this is so committed. Like, BratOK, he has hurt his own economy quite heavily to pull this off. Meanwhile, link speed is almost done. We have a lair on the way on 2 bases. So really fast lair here by SHIN. Regress to get the hell out of here. As in 10 seconds, link speed is done. Behind this BratOK going into his own Hellions. We have a defensive sunken colony on the way. Now, with this fast lair, are we going into mutas, right? We have 2 options. Either, I mean, we'd already have a Hydrogen if the plan was to go into Lurker Tech, so it looks like Ling muta here from SHIN. As he gets 1 more drone. Not bad. 2 in total. Ling's a punish, and Ling's a get the kill. Whew, so nice catch there from SHIN. BratOK, he's still on 1 base. He's supply blocked, going into Cloaked Banshees. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, 2 base muta. Now, did BratOK see the lair timing? He did not. Oh, he did not see the lair. So BratOK is in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. Now, he did see the gases, but technically this could still be Hydra Tech. That's the problem here. This could still be like Hatch Tech going into Hydras. So BratOK seeing the gases is not the biggest of tells. So BratOK is still in the dark. And you know what my biggest concern is when it comes to muta play? What shoots up? Well, the Rax is in the air, true. There are Hellions, they don't shoot up. There are Banshees, they don't shoot up. Nothing shoots up. Nothing here shoots up, and we have another factory on the way, so we're going into, ideally, Battle Mech. Right now, we have to wait to see when are Cyclones made. Cyclones are going to be necessary here to deal with the mutas. Otherwise, SHIN is going to snowball out of control. Hellions are denied. Searching for the third base that doesn't exist. We need those Cyclones. Remember, you do need a tech lab to make a Cyclone. No tech labs yet. Lings, they do flood in. They flood in. They go for the surround. They catch out one of the Hellions. Yeah, they get 1. Almost 2. Going for the mules. They didn't quite get much done. Second factory has completed. We're going for the add-on swap. And this should be for Cyclones. But mutas are already on the way. Go for the swap. Get him on there. Banshee does hit the main. Mutas have arrived. They're revealed. And now he knows. It's going to be 3 drone kills. And mutas are now moving out. Back at home, we have Widowmine production. There's a Cyclone production as well. Again, this is going to be the anti-air. 2 Widowmines and a Cyclone. And these mutas, they can bob and weave and just go for the economy instead. Okay, Viking as well. Just all things that shoot up. Wouldn't mind Cyclone Viking. Scan reveals the setup here. We're going to be switching into, oh my god, into Hydra Tech. So he's going to be going down. Shinny finally expands. That's going to be 6 SCV kills already. The Cyclone, oh my god. Widowmine does not go off. Cyclone takes a lot of hits. Cyclone actually went down. Ay. Yeah, no Cyclone. 13 SCV kills. And again, this is all because it was a late scout at the natural. It took BratOK too long to figure out what was happening. As he had no idea, Widowmines are slowly pushing forward. You can see BratOK, he wants to try to bait the mutas into the Widow Mines. Oh! My shot goes up. Massive connection. Gets one. Takes out one muta. But BratOK is stuck on one base. Like, there's no mining in the main. There is no mining. Turret is done. Cyclone moves in. Mutas, they don't quite get the Cyclone or the Viking. They have to back off. So at all this, we're switching into Ling Hydra. Remember, we're not making mutas anymore. They were just a stepping stone. Hellions, they're overwhelming. They take down some of the Hydras. We have 3 Hydras going down. Not bad. It's a close hold here for Shin. Can he protect the mineral line? Drones are getting roasted. Losing 2 drones so far. Oof. Just losing 2. Nothing major. Yeah, Shin holds. Yeah, Shin, he holds on. Only 2 drone kills. Alas, he needed so much more. As Shin, he deflects the Hellions. Most of the mutas went down, but that was worth it. Shin has got 57 workers to the 35 of BratOK. Shin has a very comfortable lead. He has a very comfortable lead here. Behind this, we have the Hive on the way. Of course, Queen's Nest is done. Soon to be getting into Queen production. And BratOK, he's got some catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do here. Again, it was 16 SCV kills in total. That was an entire mineral line going down. So he's going to be stuck here on 2 bases. Shin getting a 4th. Getting into his Hydra upgrades. Hydra speed. Spore Broodlings being researched as well. Let's go. I wasn't sure if that needed an upgrade, but apparently it does. Queen production has begun. Again, queens are a very versatile units. They can ensnare, they can spawn broodlings, they can parasite. I guess technically they can infest command centers. I've never seen the infest actually come into play in StarCraft Evolution, but maybe one day. I do know that I think it was like 1 or 2 patches ago they buffed it just to like incentivize players to use it. Yeah, no, Infest Command Center was recently buffed. When I say buffed, I mean the Infested Terrans. I believe that was they were improved alongside the ability to infest as well. As the queens are building up. That's gonna be a lot of queens. Shin, he's breaking out. Now, pushing into these siege lines is not going to be too easy to accomplish. Typically, we would need something like... Oh, God, I almost said Nero loud. Darkstorm, that's it. We'd need Darkstorm to actually try to break these siege lines and to get up close. Get up close and personal. Defilers, that's it. I kept thinking Devour. I'm like, I know it's not a Devour. Defiler. It's been too long since I've seen one. It's been too long. I'm forgetting their names. That would be typically how you break this position, but that is not the case here, not yet. Instead, just reliant on Hydras and Queens. Speaking of, we have 13 guys. I feel like we have too many. We have 13 queens. It's crazy. The queens have built up. There's the Defiler Mound, now on the way. So we did mention how we would typically need Defilers to break this, and now Shin, he's working towards that. Without Defilers, it's not going to be a pretty sight trying to break the siege line. But he's going for it. ¿Is that? Hola, hola. How are we doing? ¿Todo bien? Sí, sí, papi. Todo bien, papi. Todo bien. Ah. Hopefully you're doing well as well. As we do see SHIN going to be the first to max out. He's on a comfortable economy. BratOK does break out and take his third, and now working on a fourth CC. And we'll see how SHIN handles this army. As Defiler production has begun. That's a lot of Hydras. Pushing in. And again, SHIN, he doesn't want to be too premature. He doesn't want to try to break the siege line without his spellcasters. Queens are moving forward. Remember, they can spawn broodlings, true. Means they lead the charge. Yeah, it does spawn. Oh, takes down all the tanks. Oh my god. Yeah, it takes down all the tanks one after the other. Jesus. Who needs Defilers when you have Mass Queen? I wasn't too certain. I mean, hey, how many queens do we have again? 10? No, even more than that. 13 queens. GG gets called, just insta kills all the tanks, and SHIN, he breaks through that defensive line. We never saw the Defilers. Smurge Defilers that were still just now popping out, and GG well played. Ooh, SHIN takes the series 2-0. Does take the series. Feels Defilers, man. We didn't quite get there. But regardless, that will lead us here into our final best of 3. Again, SHIN, he will advance on to the semifinals. And up next, we do have Zardiant versus MinoVK. Let's go. Let us go. Unfortunately, when it came to BratOK's setup, again, like it came down to the initial mutas. If you recall, the mutas, they did kill 16 SCVs, so he was stumbling his way into a later game state. Ideally, if he was in a better economic position, he could get into his own ghost production, go into tank mech. Sorry, mech ghost is the more ideal kind of late game army composition you would want. Then you would have like EMPs, you'd have counterplay there to try to deal with the spellcasters, whether they are Defilers or whether they're queens as well. But alas, in the end, he was still stumbling his way there. He couldn't quite afford that. SHIN was just too far ahead. GG well played. And with that, we are now getting ready for the final quarterfinals match. Let's go.